This is Mohammad Shalihin bin Bahtiar. I will present about the impact of e-waste on environment and health. This is the content of this topic. The first is the introduction. Most Malaysians spend their time at home in this era of pandemic. Not only some of the foreigners or factory workers need to go out of their home to their workplace. This make some of them work from home, need to have electronic device for their use to complete their work at homes. This contributes to the increase of electronic device consumption, and with it, new ideas, service, and technology provide from major companies and startups to cater the needs of users across the world. Imagine the concept of smart TV, smart wall, smart album, smart fan, smart fridge, and also any other device that can connect both electrical and non-electrical with one system or software that can be controlled. There will be many electronic devices needed, and not only this device have short lifespan of 1 to 2 years only, but if it's damaged or need to be fixed, it costs many materials and high enough to buy new device to replace it. For example, the PC, personal computer, and also smartphones. Many of the users nowadays replace this electronic device once in a year or once in 2 years. Not many use more than 2 years. This causes the increase of electronic device, and also when the increase of electronic device happen, the electronic waste also been increased. E-waste is an electronic product that are not only unwanted but not working and nearing or at the end of their useful life. It's the product that did not following the latest trends, which it is working, but there are better products that can be used instead. For example, CD-ROM, pen drive, or any other product that have become obsolete. This e-waste can make toxic leach and to the air, water, soil, and human health. According to United Nations in 2021, 57.4 million tons or 7.6 kilogram of e-waste are generated per person worldwide, and only 17.4% of the e-waste has been managed or collected properly. There's a lot of activities and campaign to tackle these issues, but it is not fully effective because they are lacking in active roles and by all the societies and correct education from of the consumer. This is advancement of technology caused by recent coronavirus outbreak not only bring positive impact, but can bring major issues which increase the consumption rate of electrical and electronic products and new demands of these electronic products such as personal computer, tablet, and smartphone to follow the technological trend. For example, the increase of web camera for meetings and connecting families or celebrate any events. internal or external storage or even cloud storage need to store any soft copy data and documentation, replacing the traditional method of hard copy. Also, maybe gaming console for families spending their time together at home, or smart TV with internet connection and specification need for gaming and online streamings. In Malaysia, e-waste is categorized as scheduled waste under the code SW110 for Scheduled Environment Quality Regulation 2005 from the Department of Environment in Malaysia. E-waste come from two types, which is from industrial sector and also from the household. In Malaysia, e-waste is categorized as scheduled waste. In Malaysia, the e-waste management and recycling system are still beginners, and not only that, the nation has poor attitude toward recycling of e-waste regards the increase of electronic device consumption in population. It is a challenging nation issues in Malaysia that most landfills can be controlled due to the amount of waste it produces. This is example of hadith from Sunnah at-Tirmizi. It means that day of judgment will not come before tips of men whips and strap of men's sandal and men start speak. This prophecy, the technological advancement that man's will or have already achieved. For example, the men's whip, the LAN cable to connect to the internet, or the sandal speaks can means the smart shoes that recently been produced by major companies, was shoes that can speak. This technological advancement may bring benefit to us, but it will give a distraction to us if it's not properly handled. The second hadith from Sahih Muslim is that a human being had been given the responsibility of guardianship over natural environment, and he knows what humans do to it. While technology created by humans being to ease their everyday life, the responsibility to protect the earth and its resource are more important to take note. With shorter lifespan of electronic device, it will become harder to make sure this broken and unused electronic device will not give much effect to the environment. Obsolescence is defined if a product is not useful or no longer being used because there are better versions that are created, and this device is no longer following the trend. In 2006, from International Association of Electronic Recycle, it stated that it predict in 2010, 3 billion of e-waste will be scrapped, or 400 million units of e-waste will be produced a year, and it's become a reality. While on lands, electronic device may be safe to use and let it be, but most of it may contain toxic material such as lead, mercury, and cadmium that can pose serious environmental risks to the earth, to the soil, water, air, and human beings. The first hadith mentioned that not only performing ablution in flowing river can be a wet stage, but consider e-waste that millions of e-waste scrapped each year without proper procedure that can be implemented to recycle it. Not only that, but will give harm to the environment and help this a lot of wastage. In another hadith mentioned that do not waste help ETC to make discovery and advancement of technology, but it will better if this electronic device can be recycled or reused. And if it's not necessary to buy the electronic device, then do not buy it. Third is hadith from Al-Bukhari and Muslim, state that removing harmful objects from the road and modesty is a branch of Iman. Not only rocks, but e-waste are more harmful if not properly managed. Toxic material from e-waste leads to the ground, air, and water will affect all living things. So in life, be modest not to own electronic device that cannot be handled properly. This is a list of electronic devices that can be found, collected, recycled, or reused. There's a lot of electronic product that can be considered e-waste that increased from 2015 to 2021. The first is home appliance and entertainment. For example, heater, air conditioner, rice cooker, air fryer, washing machine, and entertainment such as DVD player, television, speaker, or gaming consoles. There's e-waste from LCT technology device such as digital camera, smartphones, personal computer, pen drive, hard disk, circuit board, and so on. Data and electronic utilities such as spotlight, remote control, smartwatch, smart light, or lamp, or from the office and medical equipment such as network hardware, power supply, printer, IT server, defibrillator, or dialysis machines. List of harmful materials and precious metals in e-waste products. The e-waste management in Malaysia state that 24.5 million units of e-waste may be produced per year in 2025, and this e-waste may contain harmful material. The first is harmful material that can be reused, mined in the ground, or can be produced from factories, such as mercury, lead, tin, zinc, arsenic, chromium, nickel. This is example of harmful materials. The second one is a precious metal with high recycling value, such as gold, bronze, copper, and silver. These metals have high value, easy to handle, high resistance, and mostly act as a electric conductor in e-waste product. Not only that, there is organic pollutants that can be produced while processing or disposing of e-waste product, such as polychloramine, biphenyl, flame retardants, or refrigerant gas is harmful to human health. Not only that, there's secondary and tertiary contaminants. The secondary contaminant come from byproducts or residue. When shredding or crushing e-waste to reduce the size of the e-waste. For example, the tertiary contaminants act as a reagent to separate various compounds in e-waste product. This will become hazardous if it's not correctly handled. Use of e-waste on environment and health. According to the United Nations, it can pose severe risks. It can pose severe risks to human and environment. This may result from the direct contact with hazardous material and substance leached from e-waste. It may come from inhalation, indigestion, dermal contact, and transplacental. Not only it will bring harms to the pupils, but also all living things and ecosystem. Those developing countries need to have proper recycling process. That this problem of handling e-waste product may not affect future generation. It is important to advise new electronic device user that keep buying new device model, not to throw the older model, but recycle it correctly. If they only send the old model to dustbin and landfills, it will provide serious environmental risk. Improper disposal of e-waste will not only affect public health, but create pollution to the ecosystem. In the Quran says that detect that, stand firm with God and do justice, and it's not being, if it's not properly supported by others, do not stop, and every act will be accounted for. Do justice by advise others about e-waste management, and do not start and give up when facing opposition, as it will be rewarded. Negative effects on air from e-waste. It can cause air contamination when informally disposed. The e-waste is properly disposed by any methods such as dismantling, shredding, or melting. When if burning of e-waste an easy way to get valuable metal from it, small dust particles or toxin may be released, and it can travel miles and affecting health of humans and animals. This pollution can give great impact to certain species of animals, not only endangering this species, but the diversity of that region. This verse, these two verses dictate that relationship between human being is important, and as human, do not be conceit or arrogance. Even there is an easy way to do things, it is harmful to others. Stay away from it. Human will never cut through the earth or be as tall as the mountains, but it is their duty to protect the earth. The negative effect on soil from e-waste, it can cause soil contamination. If it's illegally or improperly dumped to the regular landfills or dumping areas. When burning, shredding, or dismantling of e-waste, it can cause a large particle to be released and redeposit to the ground. Depending on the temperature, type of soil, pH levels, and composition, it can remain in the soil for a long time and can be harmful to the microorganism in the soil or plant. Not only that, if human and animals consuming the affected plant, it will cause internal health problem. The crop that exposed to the contamination may gain illness and cannot be productive as usual. This verse dictate that seek benefit from what God has prepared, do good and do not make corruption on earth. Soil and water are important to grow crops. If it's taken care of and well protected from contaminated by toxic and harmful substance of e-waste, we can harvest from it. It's a negative effect on water from e-waste, can cause groundwater pollution. The metals, heavy metals from e-waste may leak to the earth and reach the groundwater and make way to the rivers, pond, lakes, and so on. This with acidification and toxification of water formed in the water are unsafe to animals, plants, and humans. This will make drinking water and plant watering becomes a problem need to be solved. And not only that, The acid and toxic present in the water disturb the ecosystem. It can kill aquatic organisms, endangering freshwater habitats, marine life, and also the biodiversity of the regions. To the point of recovery is impossible. This verse dictates that water is a precious gift from God and it needs to be protected and preserved. It is also a moral obligation on one's part to conserve water because it's meant to perpetuate life on earth. If the water are contaminated, then every living things may be contaminated. This is a negative effect on human from e-waste. First is toxic. It's harmful to toxin produced by e-waste can be harmful to human health and affects the brain, heart, liver, kidney, and skeletal system from this example of disease. Next is the impairment to the human, which can affect the nervous and reproductive system, causing chronic disease and birth defects to some of humans. Also, those who work with e-waste to burn e-waste, dismantling or shredding may inhale or come in contacts with harmful material, and contamination of the e-waste is dangerous to those who work with e-waste. This verse dictate that spend for what God have recommended. Do not self-destruct and do only good things. Nowadays, human cannot make a living if not for technology and live without alternate device. But spending on such technology are permitted, but if it brings harms, especially to the health and environment, then abstain from it. And negative effects on environment from e-waste. It's important to properly dispose, reuse, and recycle e-waste as it is necessarily dangerous to global environment. As human with ability to think and communicate, we need to spread awareness of this problem and the aftermath. To prevent this e-waste affect the air, water, soil, and human health from spreading like wildfire, it's important to educate communities about the responsibilities, the management and impact of e-waste to the environment and health. Effective system and roles of collector, the recovery facilities, the disposal, and all parties involved may need to be reviewed and implemented. It is crucial to e-cycle the e-waste so that the item that can be recycled, the first base, be sold and be reused. These two verses dictate that on earth, human being is the leader, while human may do destruction and fighting among themselves. God knows what they don't know. As a leader, one must have strength and trustworthiness. It is their duty to be able to carry out the task, to educate and create awareness among themselves regarding e-waste, while having integrity and accountability. Role and system in e-waste management can be reviewed and be implemented. The conclusion is a lot of problems in e-waste, especially the negative impact towards environment and health. Technological advancements may become a double-edged sword if it's not correctly handled. Lots of solutions and mechanisms that have been proposed and not implemented yet can be considered to tackle these issues. To tackle these issues, all society need to play an active role and together create a big movement to reduce or correctly dispose and recycle these evil products. That's all from me. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.